Hello, everyone viewing, and welcome back to day 3 of No Glitches Allowed 2026. We're here raising money for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center, and we are ready for our next run, which is going to be a two-way race of Timespinner Randomizer True Ending with boss randomization and with enemy randomization, thanks to your donations. That's going to be with JimTheEternal and UrzaMTG. Go ahead and take it away, you two.
Okay. Sorry about that, folks. Some technical difficulties, I guess. I am Jim the Eternal. I'm thrilled to be here. As you can see, there is not going to be a camera for either me or my co-racer because we need all of the screen real estate that we can get. Yeah, we're thrilled to be here racing the Timespinner Randomizer True Ending. I, of course, been part of the Timespinner Randomizer community for a while, and I'm thrilled to be able to showcase this game for you folks. Urza, why don't you introduce yourself as well?
I'm UrzaMTG, or Urza for short. I've also been part of the Timespinner Randomizer community for a few years now. It's been wonderful being here, and we're both really excited to be here helping to raise money for a good cause.
We also have two lovely commentators here with us. SCZ, why don't you introduce yourself as well?
Hi there, I'm ACZ, Zed for short, more often than not. I've been doing a lot for the Timespinner Randomizer community. Our most recent unofficial tournament, the 2v2 tournament, I did a lot of those restreams. I'm really glad that I only have to stare at 2 screens this time. And with me I have Art Hunter Vera. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, oh, good. Hi, I am Art Hunter Farah for short. I've been introduced to Timespinner by Jim during his streams, and I've been enjoying it the last, what is it now, 2-3 years now? So yeah, I've been active, well, semi-active in the racing community, helping commentate, and last race joined up too.
Great, fantastic. So Urza and I are, of course, going to be racing, which means that we're not going to be listening to the commentators. So we're both going to be deafened for the rest of the race. So Urza, I will catch you on the flip side, and Zed and Vera, take it away.
Absolutely.
All right.
Will do.
For this race specifically, well, for a Timespinner Randomizer, what you should know is Timespinner is a Metroidvania, so we've got plenty of important items, but what we are trying to do is on the top row of the trackers, you can see the 5 pieces of the time spinner. We are trying to reassemble all 5 of those pieces and then go to the broken time stream at the end of the game, which we will be referring to as the Ancient Pyramid, and beat the game. Now, there are plenty of ways to get there, but that's our overall goal here. And as for settings, we did hit the Chaos Boss Randomizer incentive, so there are plenty of fantastic bosses. We might see a few of them a few times, and none of them at all. Or, not none of them at all. But
not all of them.
we might only see one boss if we are lucky or unlucky enough.
Boots only?
We also have the enemy randomizer, and our wonderful seed vetter, Wef Jebster, said that he specifically picked this seed because of the enemy randomizer. So I'm excited to see that. I have not seen this seed. Vera has not seen this seed. So we are really excited about that.
I expect some suffering right there.
Absolutely. And anything else before I let our runners know that they are good to go?
I think we should just start the race and explain a bit more about Timespinner. What is Timespinner? What's the story about? And how are the racers doing, of course.
All right. So we have a little race room here up on the side. So we are letting our runners go now in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go. And our runners are off. So starting off here, we are getting Empire Orb minus. That is rather unfortunate. You can see we are doing, to call it pitiful damage would not be doing justice to how little damage 2 is with this orb. Empire Orb normally hits very hard, but the minus modifier reduces its damage by 50%. On the flip side, that Crimson, not Orb.
Vortex.
Crimson Vortex, thank you. That Crimson Vortex Plus will be dealing an additional 100% damage. So while their main attack, that Empire Orb, is going to be doing less damage...
They're fine, they just got Blood Art Plus.
Never mind. So, ignore all that I was saying about how their main attack is going to be weak. Our main attack is fine. We did just pick up that Blood Orb Plus. We are looking good on damage. Also, really.
So yeah, that is one of the. Yes, super nice hat. So yeah, the orbs, the minus pluses or the neutrals are something off the randomizer. I believe it was set to balanced. Am I correct?
Yes, it was balanced, and out of that chest there we get an even better hat. Lab glasses is one of like the better damage headpieces. Generally speaking, when we are looking at equipment, we are looking mainly at damage. Defense and all the other stats are helpful, but generally speaking, we just want to be dealing more damage. The hats, that is also a very good hat. That, if they were still on that minus orb, would give them additional aura regeneration, which is our spellcasting stat. It's that blue bar beneath their health. Fortunately, we don't need to worry about having additional aura regeneration because we did get that Blood Orb Plus. Yeah. So real quick, since we are actually in the seed now, our runners started with the Talaria attachment item, which is usually an item you get way later into the game, and it allows them to dash. And it is mostly just convenient. And they are also starting with the Twin Pyramid Keys.
Ooh, that was a Lightwall Plus, by the way.
Yes, Lightwall Plus is a very inconvenient form of infinite vertical, as it casts a using that aura stat I was talking about. It lets them cast a platform they can stand on. It also does pretty good damage so long as the enemy or boss you are fighting does not move a lot.
Yes, many people do forget that Light Wall is, in fact, also a damage spell, not just an uppies spell.
It's mainly an uppies spell. We're
Sure,
hoping,
mainly.
we're hoping to find something to supplement our uppies, so we're not just dealing with that.
So yes, preferred we would like to find a Celestial Sash, which gives you infinite uppies, easy infinite uppies. If that is not what they're getting, then they're definitely hoping for the Succubus Hairpin, which is a double jump, which will make maneuvering with the Light Wall a whole lot easier.
And there we see our first usage of Light Wall. It is a literal wall of light that you can stand on, and not very convenient when your jump height is as low as it is at base. So they might actually consider swapping back to that hat for additional aura regeneration.
Haven't seen them do that just yet.
Yeah.
Might not have been necessary yet.
Might not. Usually you're not too concerned about it, but you know, if we are going to have to go up some of the like larger vertical sections, it might be worth equipping. We'll have to see. We can see some divergence. Urza is taking that light wall and is going directly into the castle keep, and Jim has decided that with that light wall, he is going to the Lake Serene, but it has no water. Do you want to talk about what is that setting called?
the Rising Tide setting, that is. So what it does is basically it's either floods areas or makes them dry or keeps them the same, of course. And in this case, Lake Serene is bone dry. So, in order for them to be able to go under the water, they need a water mask. So, we have a section later on in the game that we call Regrets, the regret check, because it's a pain to get to and get back from if there's something important. And generally speaking, in these races, what the races hope for is a dry regret. And not necessary regrets. But most watchers like the bit of suffering in the gameplay, and like the wet regret, which is just slow to get through. It's not difficult. It's just slow.
As we can see,
But yes,
there's a traversing through water that is not supposed to be there. That is very, very slow. It also
flooded basement loop.
section. That section,
Which is quite big. Yeah.
So while we were explaining, I happened to notice that Urza picked up one of the laser access keys for the lab. So that is a setting we have on a section that we will encounter later, maybe. Is the lab in the present timeline of this game. And we have separated the normal progression into several laser keys. And Urza has picked up one of them, not the important one. You can see the tiny, tiny glasses indicator in there. That is the one that gets you through the lab. But in the
meantime, Jim has also picked up a pink, which is needed in the towers to enter the pink rooms. And he picked up the elevator key card, which will be handy in the present.
So, Urza just picked up one of our warp beacons, so that the Twin Pyramid keys let us warp around to any of the warp points we've discovered. Now, normally when you are playing, this would also let you warp between the time periods. However, since we are starting with them, that functionality has been not removed, but since you don't have any warps in the other time periods, we have added these warp beacon items. And Urza has picked up the warp beacon to the ancient pyramid, that broken time period that we were talking about just at the start. So theoretically, all Urza needs now to beat this game, because he also got the warp to the right side of the pyramid, which means that there is no other items that he technically needs other than the 5 Timespinner pieces. As soon as Urza has the remaining 5 Timespinner pieces, he can just go beat the game if he wants to. But you know, that's still a ways off. We did find that water mask as well, so we can go swimming, and we can see just how slow swimming is.
Swimming
Even
truly
with
is
that alarm
tedious.
attachment.
Yeah. What's the jackpot room? A gas mask. Okay.
So, gas mask is useful for a subset of checks that technically don't hard require the gas mask, but upon defeating the boss that is at the end of this area that Jim is in, the present version of Lake Serene, Lake of Desolation, becomes filled with toxic gas, and you need the gas mask in order to breathe it. The boss room also has toxic gas, but most runners are more than comfortable enough to get through that fight with minimal issues, even with the inability to breathe. Ooh, and there it is. Another one of those lab accesses. Ooh, and a pyro ring.
That will be very neat to burn the vines in the past so that they can pick up the items in the present. Some of the vines will, right now in the past, are soft and burnable, but in the present, you can't pass them until they have been burned.
Yeah, if we watch Urza as Urza goes towards Lake Serene, the dry Lake Serene, we will see some of those vine interactables that can be burned with any of the 3 fire orb items, which is Pyro Ring, Fire Orb, or the Infernal Flames, or the Jin's Inferno spell. So there are 4 options, and Jim has found the Pyro Ring. Oh, and Urza
In the meantime,
take
ooh,
on
fight Kenteran.
Yeah. Find Nightmare at
Nightmare at Kenteran, yes. Twins, so we get a little peek.
A little peek. Let's see. I didn't quite catch that.
Me neither, sadly. So if you fight the twins boss, you often get, well, you get, for a frame or two, you get to see the item that is actually at that location.
Yeah.
But in this case, we were both unable to actually make out what it was, sadly. Ooh, Jim going through all this without the water mask, that's unfortunate. Oh,
Yeah, that water
backing
mask
off.
was in Ilana's Towers, which
Yes, it was.
Jim has been trying to avoid, I believe, being as single jump white wall towers is marginally annoying, we'll say. It is one of our more vertical areas in the game, and is exactly what we were talking about when we said that light wall, single jump light wall is a very inconvenient, infinite vertical.
I did want to mention for the raiders that just joined us, this is No Glitches Allowed 2026. We're raising money for Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. And right now you kind of have a 2-for-1 going because the language bid war for Resident Evil Village, which is 3 runs from now, is going on. And we have a milestone for $1,650, which will unlock the Winston Pride skin in Isopod, which is the game after Resident Evil Village, if you'd like to get your donations in.
In the meantime, Urza's beating themselves up probably right now due to failing that light wall climb just a couple seconds ago, deciding to fade the checks instead of actually grabbing them.
Wef, our seed vet, the person who vetted this seed, would like to remind our runners that you should not be getting cute with your light walls. Unless you end up in the light wall jail. Fortunately, not jailed, but just ran out of magic in which to cast light walls, so unable to get up. So we'll maybe come back later.
Or maybe now.
Now. But
No.
probably just to the Maw Caves. Nope, we are going back now.
Grabbing.
We're just
We are
grabbing
going
the
back. Oh, nope.
Urza, you're confused.
Not going back. Yeah, this is some interesting routing, to say the least.
Oh, going to tag the warp so they can go over here and fight the Azure Queen boss formation. And then is going to take the warp back over there. The Radiant Orb Plus that both of our runners have found, along with that light wall, is proven to be very nice. A lot of bosses are weak to Radiant type damage, and Radiant Orb is one of the only ways to deal that kind of damage. So, very nice that we have it.
Ooh, in the meantime, Jim has picked up a laser access. So he has told me before we actually went live for this race that one of his strategies will be that when he gets 3 lasers, he is going to prioritize the military hangar in the lab due to how the randomization works.
Yeah, so in addition to those lab lasers that block off the lab, we have separated the normal requirements for getting into the military hangar, which then leads into the lab, away from their usual requirements and turned those into items as well. And I was right, that was Inner Ancient Pyramid. So Jim also now has that warp to the very end of the game. At some point, it looks like I missed the warp that Urza picked up, but I believe that one is the warp to the time period they are already in, so it's not as useful as the warp to the present or that ancient pyramid warp that we picked up. There's the water mask for Jim. Our runners basically retracing each other's footsteps, but I believe Jim is going to have to start climbing the tower.
Sure has to. But let's see, does
to go backwards with that water mask for the few checks that it opened up. Not before we go on a shopping spree, though. Very important.
You gotta pay the bird.
That is our friend, the Merchant Crow.
Ooh, Ooh, there we have our first time spinner gear over at Jim. Okay.
Very beginning of the tower. So that is piece 1 of 5. The time spinner wheel, the first piece in that row, does have the additional ability to stop time, which has some logical implications.
Yes.
Mostly to turn enemies into platforms. But I don't think Jim
Convenience.
quite wants to see that one right now, considering his current location. There are.
And we do have a timely donation here from MDuo13 who donated $100 and said, "Love to see some runners spin time. Let's go, Jim the Eternal." It's putting a fan aside as being chosen here by the donors. That puts us only $50 away from the next milestone. Thank you.
Quite awesome. We love to hear support for that. But I'd also like to see some support for Urza.
They're both great runners. I could not pick favorites in this case.
No, it's very hard to pick favorites. These two were teammates for the 2v2 tournament, so they're very close friends and both wonderful members of the community. But right now you have to pick sides. You gotta pick which one you like more. No, you don't.
You really don't.
You
Root
really
for
don't.
both. See them both suffer. Ooh, that is a tablet. For Jim?
Tablet and a gear at the... Oh no, Jim. Light wall placed too high to get on top of it to get to that chest all the way up top.
Yep, that was sadly a
There's
light
the
wall jail right there.
Or restorative items from our friend the Merchant Crow. It was worth it.
For a stun trap. Yeah, definitely worth it. 10 out of 10.
This game has plenty of funny traps in the randomizer. If you get the throw stun trap in a really long room, sometimes you can save time. Although that's a very rare occurrence.
It's a rare occurrence, but time save is time save.
Time save is always time save. Now, I'm wondering where the progression is, because we've found a bunch of items. That tablet is really good. That D, the security key card D we found in the towers is really good. But we're doing a lot of moving around in the time era we are already in, which is not super helpful. We're looking to get to that present, and they are really trying to avoid the pyramid. Because...
I mean, yeah, the enemies are
Climb out
still
of that.
quite strong. And they have to indeed climb out of it. I don't know what's at regrets.
There are 2 checks, the before regret check and the regret check, that are accessible in the pyramid, and I'd like to go see them check, but they would like to do anything other than that. No?
So there are 2 ways. Wait. It's 2 ways, correct? To get.
Yeah, do.
Yes, okay. Just make sure. We have 2 ways to get, in this case, to,
The present.
I want to say the future, but that's not true. Indeed, the present. We can either find the warp beacon to the present, or we can both find the wheel and the spindle, and through that get to the present. in this case, it seems like it's gonna be a warp beacon that will get them to the present, but you never know.
Oh, we do both have our modern warp beacon. I'm just silly. I thought the pink one was for the era we were already in. No, we do have access to the present, and Urza just warped there.
Okay, very good.
It was underwater.
Let's
right
check
before
Skelly.
the Kantaran location.
Ooh, laser A at Skelly. That is again to get to the lab and the military. To get to the military hangar. Ooh, words are hard.
There are a lot of them. Yeah, Urza has one of those. Does not have the one that Jim has, though. Jim has a different lab or military laser. Oh, and there's the last one.
There's the last one. Okay, well, we know that once Jim gets both of those, so any moment, honestly, he will probably just go straight for the military hangar, because he's expecting that some things are locked behind there that are actually important.
There is a slight problem, though. We can't
What is
reach
the problem?
there yet.
We
So
can't.
while we do have
I
the
see.
elevator key card and the D key card, we cannot get to the other side of the towers. So now that we're in the present, we should probably talk a little bit more about those present items. The tablet we found in the towers that Jim has allows us to download information out of the download terminals in the library, which are checks. So that is going to be a decent amount of checks that we're going to be missing from Urza's side. And there is this keycard system in place with D, C, B, and A. A keycard is less useful. Did I forget to say? Oh, I did. Yes, and the V keycard. Although the A through D are main keycards. They all open up their own specific set of doors, with the V keycard unlocking 3 download terminals. We need either the C keycard that Urza has, as well as the elevator keycard that they both have, and the D keycard that Jim has to get to the other side of the library, or the Barnagrey Towers. Or we need the B keycard to go beneath it, basically. So we have half of the puzzle on each side. But they're each missing one keycard that the other one has.
I do not remember where the C keycard was found by Urza. Was it underwater, perhaps?
It could have been underwater. Ooh, Ravenlord.
Bird time.
Ravenlord.
A Ravenlord with just a... Yeah, and especially with just a single jump on a light wall. But no worries. Jim just tapped it a few times and now it's gone.
Yeah, so that is the Boots boss location. It is the first boss of the game. So if you're gonna find Ravenlord anywhere, the boss location that only has 425-ish HP is where you'd like to find it.
Yeah, and normally it has how much HP?
5,000.
Yeah, so there's quite some difference
Just
there.
a little bit less. Just a little bit less HP. Both of our runners making quick work, and both of them turning around to go. Oh,
B key card.
The security key card B. We can go to the military hangar now. And there's the security key card A. Jim is now missing only the security key card C, which is Now only blocking one item for him. Because we can go through the Varnagray Towers... Oh, 2 items. We can go through the towers backwards, and they don't check to see if you have the C key card when you go through the opposite way. It's very silly. So I'm looking forward to see Jim's lab rush.
Could be soon. Think he's gonna finish up the library here. And then just go for it. That's at least what he, like, notched at me. Like, hey, this is gonna be the thing that I do. But we'll see if he actually decides to do it.
Drawbridge key. If only we didn't jump over it.
Oh, and a second gear.
And the second gear. Very nice.
Time to go up towards the ooh. Now I forgot.
This would be the Ifrit location, but that
Ifrit,
room
yes.
specifically is the backer room. We can't fight Ifrit just yet. We are missing the Kobo familiar, but that is a location for a boss that has a lot of HP. One of those 5,000 HP bosses. Not really anything we're probably too concerned about, but yeah, just a thing to think about when you find that familiar.
And since Jim... Ooh, that's a Celestial Sash. That's our infinite uppies right there. For Jim.
That's our superior infinite uppies.
Yes.
Our Auralist infinite uppies. No longer are we constrained by magic.
Ooh, and Urza just finds the Succubus hairpin at, well, basically the end of the game, if officially seen. So he can now double jump.
Making a quick dip into the pyramid and finding that double jump, which is going to kick him into gear, going up that Alanis Tower now that it's not single jump light wall the entire way, which is understandable. But without that D key card, is unable to go get the Celestial Sash. That is just beyond
reach.
As Jim skipped all of the Varnagray Towers, cleared out the library, and decided that he was going to commit to that lab rush.
Which, ooh, we are still missing one of those accesses. We are missing the glasses. I see.
We will not be able to get through the lab, but we will be able to get everything in the lab.
Yeah.
Almost everything in the lab.
Who knows? Maybe that access point is in the lab, because that's what he is expecting.
Yep. There's Urza's second gear. Got the one out of the library, just picked up the second one that Jim has. We'll be finding their D cards soon. Shadow Seal. Must have just picked that up. Shadow Seal is one of the better rings you can have in this game. It will give you more damage the more HP you are missing. And that's not a percentage HP, it is based off of the total amount of HP you are missing. So if you have max HP and have 1 health, you are going to be dealing way more damage than if you were just at 1 health at any normal health value, we'll say.
But in order to use it, you do need to make sure that, one, you get hit a couple times, but not too many. And in the meantime, Jim has found the wheel up in lab. So that gives, like Zed already, indeed, said, the wheel makes sure you can stop time.
There's enemies that are random and all over the place and exceedingly in the way most of the time are now going to be less problematic because we can stop almost all of them in time. There are a handful of exceptions, usually enemies that we just see at the end of the game, that are already within broken time. They will not be stopped by our time stop ability. But everything else we can deal with.
Everything else will be easy peasy.
The tablet is Urza is back in the library, utilizing that security keycard D that we have, that we located, as well as the tablet we located to go get all of those checks.
I'll accept the one behind V.
To go do a check in the lab. Turning around
Whoops.
to that one real quick.
Okay, so in this case, Urza seems to not be rushing to lab just yet, but going through the tower.
Yeah, with that security keycard C, able to route the Varnagray towers in normally, rather than having to do it backwards like Jim would have had to do.
I mean, backwards is not too bad, though.
No, it's better when you're starting from that military hangar warp, but
Yes.
it's certainly not that out of the way.
Who knows? When he doesn't find what he was looking for here, he might just do that.
And it does look like Jim has that Genza lab access, as that was the Genza location, and we are through. We are into Dad's house. Except we're not. We're turning around.
Except we're not gonna do that.
We're turning around. We don't like the Emperor's towers.
Oh yeah, he found the V cards. Ooh, the Spindle Engine Plus.
Yeah. Jin Inferno Plus is a really, really heavy-hitting spell. Now, I know this is no glitches allowed, but there is a glitch that is allowed in the Timespinner randomizer rules set involving the Jin Inferno.
It's just harder to not do it than to...
It is honestly harder to not do the glitch than it is to just say, you know what, it's allowed. If you manage to cast a second copy of the spell before the first one despawns, it doesn't consume any aura, so you just get to cast it for free, and you can repeat that as many times as you want. Or until the enemy is dead.
Ooh, also, Urza finding Kobo.
Yep, Kobo, that will let us go back to that Ifrit location in the library whenever we choose to. Probably not high on that priority list, but...
Probably not. Jim is just looking for the last gear to be able to go to the end of the game, or at least finish the game.
With that wheel in the labs and the V card in the labs.
Yeah.
And that spindle behind the V card, Jim is in a very good spot right now.
For Urza's sake, I hope that the other gear will be behind C card, because it's not likely that Jim will go and check the water check step very quickly.
We're hoping, for Urza's sake, that we're looking at probably a check in Zerion's cave, because Jim will probably not be wanting to run through there. because I don't think there's... I think we already checked the 2 C card locations that were blocked, and neither of them had what we were looking at. Hey, Ravenlord's back. This time he's got, like, 2,000 HP.
Takes a bit longer.
You know what? I take it back. There's that Jin Inferno we were talking about. And,
Time to meatball the birds.
and there's that Jin Inferno glitch. As you can see, that blue bar is
Not a glitch, don't worry, it's
increasing.
intended.
There goes Ravenlord again. And what is our reward? Librarian robe.
Just
How
a
very
robe.
nice.
Jim going to the towers. The Varney Towers.
Backtracking into the Varnagray Towers. Or maybe to the
Or not.
Siren Cave?
Could be. Yeah, Siren's Cave it is.
Seems like Jim might be trying to fade the Varnagray Towers, and I don't blame him.
And in this case, that will be in his favor because we know there's nothing there, really.
Yeah, there was
Dirty water.
important. There was the Kobo that we haven't seen yet,
And that is the last gear. Jim is
Jim
now in
is-
goat mode.
yeah, Jim is rewarded. That is the last gear. And as a final little gift, Jim will be receiving the hairpin that is right down this staircase.
I mean, it's a great gift to find in the end. Although, the bosses will be flooded, so it won't help him that much.
So our first, Ravenlord returns, this time with
Again!
5,000 HP.
Nah, that's fine.
It's fine. Our big,
Birds can
our
swim,
big
right?
rocks are doing 550 damage. I don't think we're too concerned. You know, I see what Wes was on about. This is a very funny animation. Our runner specifically requested that they did not have to do a single jump Ravenlord. So the monkey's paw curls and here you can have 3 Ravenlords instead, all with Light Wall and Sash. And that is exclamation points for Jim.
Jim, indeed. Amazing.
Oh man.
Vanilla final boss, that was Nightmare at Nightmare, who is very weak to that Radiant Orb that we have.
Yeah, I love a good stack in light wall.
GG's, Jim. How
Yeah.
do you
GG's
feel?
indeed.
A little nervous. I also feel like a goddamn genius. I sincerely feel like the Seed Whisperer right now. Like every decision I made was good, and yeah, I'm never gonna get this high again.
Yeah, very
Yeah,
telling me
also
that
your
strategy
trick
was-
worked.
was Lab Rush, and I was like, well, we don't have the items to get to the lab, and then we found the B key card, and I was like, all right, let's stick to it.
Let's
Jim.
go.
And you were rewarded.
Yeah, okay, so did you get the chance to talk about how the randomization works for this game? Because it's a little bit different than a lot of other randomizers.
No, we did not get into the technicalities of it.
So one of the cool things that this randomizer does is when you decide on a seed, what it does is it puts everything out in the world in completely random places and then checks to see whether or not the seed is beatable, as opposed to one of many other possible algorithms that you could use to fill all of the locations. What this means is that an item could be locked by itself. It could be hidden behind its own progression, as long as it's not necessary in order to beat the game, as long as it's not necessary to win the seed. So in order to get into the lab, a lot of different things need to go right. You need to get all 3 of the Prism Break lasers, you need to get the B key card, and you need to get access to the present. If you have all of those things, there's really, really good odds that you need to go to the place that they are gating, because otherwise one of them could have been hidden there and you'd never have access to it, as long as you're still able to beat the seed. So the fact that it's accessible usually means that it's necessary. and that paid out for me definitely. And then I remember when I picked up the elevator key card specifically, I was like, oh, this feels like it's going to be important. And when I got sort of to the end game part, when it was, you know, the gear hunt at the very end, trying to find my one final piece of the time spinner in wherever it was in the entire world, I remember the elevator key card and it was like, I bet it's in Present Siren's Cave. And the fact that it was then in Present Siren, like I feel like a goddamn genius.
And rightfully so. Urza found the security keycard C, so decided that they were going to go clear out Varnagray Towers, and is currently in the Zarion Caves. Did not end
no.
up pursuing the V
The
keycard
lab.
like you did.
Yeah.
Oh. There's so many places to go check at this point in the seed too. Like there's so many
Yeah.
different places that anything could be hidden. This is one of the I don't know if it's a skill so much as an art of the Timespinner randomizer, is once you get to this end part, it's really possible for it to be very open with a lot of places to go looking for 1 or 2 items, or even like the Zarian caves, like 6, 7, 8 items all in one place. But, you know, whether or not there's anything there is, it's a randomizer, right?
Yeah,
Who knows?
but you are absolutely right with how the Timespinner randomizer does its randomization, where your seeds are only guaranteed to be beatable, not 100%able. When you get access to a location, odds are in your favor that it's going to lead to more of the things that you need.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that I just picked the right progression and Urza found the A key card and was like, well, this is probably important, and maybe not as important as the other progressions that were available, that is luck? Art?
Yeah, I mean, you got
It's certainly not
A
science.
key card and B key card in what would normally be the same like sphere of logic. Obviously, that's not how the Timespinner randomizer works, but in like you found them at the same time, they unlocked like the same amount of stuff, kinda. So it's not unreasonable at all to go chase down that A key card location, especially when you're, you know, dealing 153 damage with your main orb.
Oh yeah, I was
No.
so happy to find out that Radiant Orb was plus. That was a dream come true.
The beginning of the seed was very funny because I only barely got through explaining why the Empire Orb minus was going to royally suck before you found the Blood plus, and then it was just, okay, well, the damage is here.
Never mind that.
And then you
We're
found
fine.
Radiant plus, and I don't even think I mentioned Radiant plus.
Yeah, Empire Orb definitely proved exactly how bad it was going to be.
Where's I going for V right now?
There's that spindle. Now, Urza, you just need to go to the Siren Caves. No, don't bother with
Go to the
Ifrit.
side. No! Don't do it! Oh. Ah,
Emperor's
going to
Towers.
that.
Emperor's Towers, which is probably the more sane play, considering that your options are between Emperor's Towers that has like, I want to say 10 locations, or the Siren Cave that has 4. But you know, we have the gift of foresight. We know where that last gear is, so of course it makes sense to us. Why don't you just go to the Siren Cave?
Also, it does satisfy me that Urza's tracker is full except for that last gear. That for some reason feels good.
Everyone loves
Oh,
the
all of the
completed
items. He
tracker.
found all the optional boss items too.
Yep.
Yes.
Found the Merchant Crow in the Zarion Caves and Kobo in the Varnagray Towers.
Yes.
Honestly, I don't even remember where we picked up that keycard C. It was somewhere
Good use
in
of
the
the time
past.
stop
In
in the passageway.
somewhere in the water, right?
I think so.
In the past. I don't remember exactly where, but yeah. Urza had the water mask for a bit, for quite a bit before you.
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see what Urza's early game was like. I feel like I made some somewhat non-standard decisions in terms of where I was going, so wouldn't surprise me if things paid out a little bit quicker for Urza.
Yeah, you guys were pretty much the same until just after that light wall pickup, where Urza decided to go into Castle Keep, whereas you went over to Lake Serene. That's where you started splitting up.
Yeah.
There we go. Urza finally going towards that gear.
Oh, there it is. That's go mode.
That's go mode indeed.
How did you feel knowing that you had right side pyramid? Did that worry you at all?
A little bit. As I was going through lab, I was like, okay, when I'm done with lab, I need to go check the pyramid. And then I got the V key card in lab, and I was like, no, I need to check this first. And then I got the spindle there, and I got Jin Inferno, and I was like, well, what about Emperor's Towers? And then I went through Emperor's Towers, and I finished that, and then I was like, well, what about Present Siren's Caves? And then after that, the pyramid. And each of these was like, if I had gotten left side pyramid, I would have been in the pyramid way earlier, but because I had right side, it definitely made me put it off a little bit longer.
Yeah, I think that's pretty standard. Like, when you have right side pyramid, you're less inclined to go do checks in the pyramid, because you don't have to traverse that. It's technically wasted time if you never have to go through there.
Mm-hmm.
Go for the last nightmare.
Just taking the damage.
There we go.
Exclamation points for Urza.
That
Nice.
is time
GG.
indeed.
Oh, I felt.
Welcome in Urza.
So Jim, did you go pyramid early?
I did not. I kept putting it off because it was right side.
Oh, so did I. I don't think I got double jump until like 30 plus minutes in.
I got double jump right before going to the final bosses. I was on just for a while. Well, Sash.
You got. I think you got Sash far before I did then, because I was on single
Jim
jump light
had
wall
the
for
D
a
key
while.
card. Jim had the D key card on first visit to the present, so upon picking up that D key card went under Varnagray Towers and did not have the C key card to go through it, so went under, grabbed Sash, and was into the lab.
Yeah, so I didn't do single jump light wall Ilana's tower. So I missed all of that good stuff in there until after I came back with double jump and light wall.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, it was definitely one of the later places that I went in the present, or in the past rather. But I went to Serene before I did the castle, and after going through Serene and then Maw Caves, I was so sick of not having warp shards. I was like, you know what? We're just going to Ilana's now.
Yep. Did you track your concussion count?
Well, I'm about to find out.
I'm at 3 because I got Sash so late.
Oh, yeah, only 5 concussions from me. We didn't talk about this ahead of time, but both Urza and I agreed when chatting before the run started that we would donate for the amount of concussions that we got. And Sash ended up not being a big enough deal to cause that many concussions, but I will donate my 5.
I'll probably donate 15. So for those who do not know, I don't know if this was discussed at all. This is a screen that was added for the randomizer. Our friend WefJebster figured out how to detect when using the Celestial Sash, the infinite vertical item, how to detect when you hit a ceiling with it, and it counts every time you hit a ceiling while using that item, and then it tells you here on the screen. So this is our bonk counter for the Timespinner randomizer.
Every randomizer's got to have that one random stat that they track.
Absolutely.
For the Timespinner randomizer, it's the amount of concussions. Or bonks. Bonks upon the ceiling.
But yeah, good race, Jim. Yeah, I definitely I definitely was flailing around, just trying to figure out where to go, feeling like every little thing that I missed was going to be important.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I think I deliberately left some stuff behind when I got more progression. This is one of the things that I think is actually really important with this randomizer. Is I feel like the progression that you get is sort of outsized importance, and I'm okay with leaving some stuff that is available in order to follow sort of the new stuff as it opens up, because that's paid off for me in the past.
yeah, I felt I felt redeemed because my first time through Dry Lake Serene, I got neurotoxined, and so I couldn't get either of the two items in the past spot where the wheel was, or the double jump spot there.
Yep.
And so I felt redeemed when I went back and found the elevator keycard there. Like, nearly immediately I turned around and went and got that, basically as soon as I had Aura again. But then, and I'm sure Vera and Zed were probably yelling at me for this. When I got to the present, finally, I went and I tapped the warp point for the military hangar, and then I went back and I went down the elevator after getting the sash, and I went to that warp point, and then I immediately warped back to the hangar and said, "Oh, I have everything to get into the lab. I'm just going to go do that."
I don't know if we were yelling at you about that.
We were not yelling, no.
Not at that point.
Not at that point,
Hopefully
yes,
at that point
specifically.
we knew the Siren Cave was important just yet.
Gotcha. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, the Siren's Cave gear was the last gear that I got, and I got that after doing Emperor's Tower.
Same. I just apparently did everything else.
Yeah, I think you did a lot more
Yes.
than I did.
Yeah, I went through the lab. I was like, "Oh, hey, the wheel is here. That's great. I'm gonna follow the A card after I did the lab, and went over to Zarian Cave, found nothing there. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was good.
Feels
a good
bad.
seed. This was a
So-
good race seed.
Yeah. It was a good race scene. Shoutouts to Wef Jepster.
Indeed.
So also, now that we're talking about shoutouts, in this case, I see that chat has already discussed it a bit, but this lovely game, Timespinner, is also getting a sequel. Yeah, Timespinner 2 is in the makings.
It is.
So don't forget to wishlist that on Steam.
Yes, and that being said, do any of the four of you have any further shoutouts before we get out of Timespinner mode here?
Thanks for having us on. It was a pleasure to be here and a pleasure to commentate.
Yeah, I am so glad that I was able to present Timespinner here like this. Thank you very much to No Glitches Allowed for accepting my run and putting us on this stage. This is a good time, and I hope we were able to showcase the game effectively.
Yeah, I think shoutouts once again to our friend Wef Jebster for finding us this seed. We asked him to find one that was going to be a good marathon length, and I think he knocked it out of the park. Also, shoutouts to Lunar Ray Games, the developer of Timespinner and Timespinner 2. I think they do streams like once or twice a week where they're doing live development work on Timespinner 2, so check those out if you're interested.
Yeah, for sure. And again, yes, thank you so much for no glitches allowed, but also thank you to the amazing runners, not only Jim and Urza, but all the other runners that make this possible too.
Yeah, thank you so much to all of you all. This was a really good race, very entertaining, and that doesn't really happen. I'm a member of the Final Fantasy IV randomizer community myself, and I know a good randomizer show requires good tracking and a good commentary. So it was a good show all around. Thank you.
I think that's it for us. So happy to hand it back to you, Motos, and let things continue.
Hey, we're doing good. Well, thank you all once again, and we'll hit you with some tunes there in the chat here shortly, and I'll have a couple other things to say here in just a few minutes. For those of you who are joining us with those raids, this is day 3 of No Glitches Allowed 2026. We're raising money for the Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. That's a dog shelter in Hampton, Virginia that works to provide a haven for homeless dogs, giving them the time, care, and love they need to find not just any home, but the right home. And you're here at the right time because we do have an incentive. We're only $49 away from a milestone. That will be to unlock the Winston Pride skin in Isopod, which is a few runs away. If we meet that, then the runner Wild Cherry Meteor is going to use a custom Pride skin there on the main character, which needs to be met before the beginning of the game. Only $1,650 needed for that, and we're already at $1,601 thanks to all of your generous donations. In addition, while you're making that donation, make sure to scroll down to the bottom and select the drop down because you're kind of getting a 2-for-1 here. We also have the language bid war open for Resident Evil Village, which is only 3 runs away. Right now, Italian is winning with $50, and French is in second with a far away $1.20. However, that just means that it doesn't take too much for you to put Brazilian Portuguese, Chinese, English, German, Japanese, Russian, or Spanish into the lead spot. So get your donations in. I'd like to see that bid war heat up before Resident Evil Village starts. Speaking of donations, we do have $15 from UrzaMTG, who is one of the runners here of that Timespinner race, who says 3 concussions equals $15. Math hard when head hurt, but the number will still go up. This is good. Thank you, Urza. That was a really good run to see, and also thanks for donating your concussion amount there. Hey everyone, in the chat for No Glitches Allowed 2026 here. Just want to get another donation in here from Jim the Eternal, who was the other half of that duo running Timespinner for us, who says, as promised, here's my bonk count. Celestial Sash giveth and taketh away. That's $25 to the Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. And that's going to be the end of my time here with No Glitches Allowed this event, but I'm going to be handing over to my friend Turtle Run, who's going to be with you for the next quite a while. So get ready for that and have a good rest of the event, everybody.
Hello, No Glitches Allowed 2026, and welcome back! My name is TurtleRun2412, and I will be your host throughout the rest of the night. I'm so glad to be here. I love speedrun marathons so much, and we have some fantastic runs coming up tonight. As well as, of course, we're still raising money for the Go Rescue Pet Adoption Center. We have one more donation coming in here, $10 from Kellerman with no comment. Thank you so much. All donations count, no matter if you have a comment, if you don't, if you're anonymous, if you have a name, everything goes towards helping the dog. So thank you so much, Kellerman and everyone else, for your donations. Now,